Welcome back, horror fans, to Tales and Thrills, your favorite corner of the internet where nightmares breathe and cinema screams. Tonight's lightning round dives straight into the deep end. Real horror movies only. No cheesy jump scares, no fake monsters. We're talking about the ones that linger long after the credits roll. The ones that crawl under your skin and whisper when the room gets quiet. You've been warned. We begin with the titan that defined terror itself, The Exorcist. 1973. The world wasn't ready. Audiences fainted, priests were called, and people swore the film was cursed. Reagan's descent from innocent child to demonic vessel is cinema at its most disturbing. The pea soup vomit, the spider walk, the spinning head, iconic, horrifying, unforgettable. But what truly makes The Exorcist terrifying isn't the devil itself. It is the loss of innocence. It's a little girl's voice warped into something monstrous. It's the sound of faith breaking. William Friedkin captured fear so raw that even today, 50 years later, no possession movie compares. This wasn't a story. It was an exorcism on film. Then, decades later, horror evolved. Hereditary, 2018, entered the scene like a quiet scream. A film so unnerving it doesn't rely on gore. It relies on dread. Ari Aster crafted a slow descent into familial madness. It starts with grief, a dead grandmother, a fractured family, and turns into a ritual of hell. That decapitation scene? It's one of the most shocking moments in modern horror. The silence after it happens is worse than any scream. Toni Collette gives the performance of her life, unraveling in front of our eyes, her grief turning into something almost supernatural. By the end, when the camera glides through that candlelit treehouse and the truth is revealed, the viewer realizes the horror was never random. It was destiny, and destiny is the scariest thing of all. If Hereditary is slow-burning despair, The Conjuring is the roller coaster. James Wan resurrected the haunted house genre and gave it teeth. Set in the 1970s, following Ed and Lorraine Warren, it balances faith and fear perfectly. The basement scene is a masterpiece of tension. The darkness feels alive. The air grows thicker with each creak. The clap game scene is simplicity turned sinister. Two hands, one sound, instant terror. But what truly anchors the film is the Warrens themselves. Real love, real faith, real courage. It makes every supernatural moment believable. The Conjuring doesn't just scare, it convinces you ghosts are real, if only for 2 chilling hours. And then came Midsommar. Bright, floral, and absolutely horrifying. A daytime horror story. How do you make sunlight scary? Ari Aster knew how. The movie lures you in with beauty, the meadows, the white robes, the warm smiles, and then slowly shows you the rot beneath it all. The ritual at the cliff is shocking, brutal, and eerily calm. The festival is a mirror of grief and codependency. Danny's heartbreak becomes her transformation. By the time the temple burns and her face twists from tears to a smile, we realize the true horror. She found belonging in madness. Midsommar is the scariest breakup movie ever made, a fairy tale written in blood and sunlight. Meanwhile, it brings fear back to the gutter. Stephen King's creation, Pennywise the Dancing Clown, came roaring to life again in 2017. Bill Skarsgård redefined what a monster could be, childlike and ancient, playful and cruel. The sewer scene with little Georgie is burned into everyone's mind. That yellow raincoat, that red balloon, that fanged smile, it's the stuff of nightmares. But beyond the scares, it is about childhood fear and the courage to face it. The Losers Club stands against the embodiment of everything evil about growing up. They don't just fight a clown. They fight their trauma, their fears, their town's apathy, and somehow, even amid the terror, there's heart. That's why it works. It's not just scary, it's nostalgic, tragic, and hopeful all at once. Then silence becomes the monster in a quiet place. Imagine a world where the faintest whisper can kill you. John Krasinski crafted a masterclass in tension. Every sound is amplified, every step calculated. The family dynamic makes every moment emotional. The birth scene, in silence, while creatures hunt outside, might be one of the most nerve-wracking moments in horror history. The film proves that sound isn't necessary for fear. Sometimes it's the lack of it that destroys you. And that ending. A mother cocking a shotgun with tears and fury in her eyes. Pure cinematic perfection. A Quiet Place doesn't just scare you. It makes you feel the fear in your bones. And now, we walk into the halls of the Overlook Hotel. The Shining. Stanley Kubrick's icy masterpiece. Jack Nicholson's descent into madness is both terrifying and mesmerizing. The snow, the isolation, the endless corridors. It's a maze of the mind. The twins whispering, "Come play with us." The river of blood flooding the elevator. The typewriter repeating, "All work and no play." These images are eternal. But The Shining isn't just about ghosts. It's about obsession, alcoholism, the collapse of control. The Overlook isn't haunted because of spirits. It's haunted because of people. Kubrick turned madness into art, and Jack Torrance became a legend. Here's Johnny, one of cinema's greatest moments of chaos. Finally, we reach Get Out. Jordan Peele's debut shocked the world. A psychological horror rooted in race, privilege, and identity. Chris, the protagonist, visits his girlfriend's family. Polite, charming, liberal, until he realizes they want more than just his company. The sunken place scene, where his consciousness drifts into darkness, is terrifying because it's real. It's about losing agency, voice, and self. Peele used horror to expose societal nightmares. The teacup stirring becomes a weapon, the smiles become sinister masks, and when Chris finally fights back, it's not just victory, it's survival. Get Out changed horror forever. It proved the genre could be intelligent, political, and still utterly terrifying. 8 films, 8 nightmares, each one a mirror reflecting different fears: faith, family, grief, control, sound, silence, identity. Together, they chart the evolution of horror across 5 decades. The Exorcist gave us fear of the unseen. The Shining turned isolation into madness. The Conjuring gave us faith under fire. Hereditary and Midsommar exposed the horror of human emotion. It reminded us that childhood never truly ends. A Quiet Place turned silence into a scream. Get Out made horror meaningful again. And what makes them endure isn't just the blood or the monsters. It's the reflection they hold up. Horror has always been a mirror, showing us what we fear most about ourselves. Maybe it's losing faith. Maybe it's losing control. Maybe it's realizing that monsters are just people stripped of comfort. Each of these films understands that. They crawl beneath your skin not because they're loud, but because they whisper truths we don't want to face. So what do we learn from this lightning round? That horror never really changes. It just evolves with us. The demons get new faces, but they feed on the same things: guilt, grief, love, loss, fear. When we watch these movies, we're not just watching death. We're watching life stripped bare, painted in shadows. You survived the lightning round. But look behind you. Maybe the real fear is already watching. Outro music. Static fades back in, layered with a soft whisper. Don't look away. The whisper echoes until the screen cuts to black.